Let's talk about when the relationship began to fracture between your dad and El Chapo's sons. I guess it started in 2016, and he says yes. What were the first arguments that you noticed where you were like, nah, there's already trouble here. This is a problem. It began with some clashes among our gunmen and the gunmen of the Chapitos, but always initiated by them. When you're dealing with people that got beef, the stories are subjective. The truth is subjective. Maybe you get the truth. Maybe you get what they call it nowadays, my truth. I don't believe in that my truth. There's the truth, and then there's not the truth. As far as he's concerned, there was beef between the gunmen, but it was always their fault. So something started to look wrong. Because we're supposed to be, on the same side, right? What's up? And I'll tell you what they didn't like, because I used to confront them. I'd be like, Ivan, please, don't be kidnapping people in Mazatlan. Don't be extorting people. Don't be like that. And then he'd be like, nah, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. Nothing happened. But I knew it was them. You can't hide nothing. Everything is going to come to the light. In a day, in a month, in a year, in a century, but it will come to the light. Everything was known, and I was telling them, hey, I'm not going to allow that. And of course, they all came up together. They all in this mob. They looking at him like, well, who are you to allow what? Right? Don't you think that be the attitude, these kiddish ass attitudes that they have with each other? We've heard already about the silly jealousy and little kid shit they be arguing about with each other. I'm not gonna allow that. Don't be abusing people like that. And then he gonna tell me, who do you think you are, the savior of the world? No, I don't believe I'm the savior of the world. But in my plazas, I didn't allow that. And look, as proof, look at what Sinaloa was before 2017. From 2017 onwards, look how vehicle theft has gone up, disappearances, murders, extortions. It's craziness. I'm not lying. So as a result of that, they start hitting your people. And even though you confront them, they tell you, nah, it ain't us. Or it was unintentional. What kind of excuses would they give you? Listen, you know your family, and you know if your brother, if he's drunk, if he's a piece of shit, if he likes to pick fights. But if another person arrives and they tell you, hey, dude, nah, your brother came and he licked a shot at me. And then he comes up to you and says, nah, it wasn't me. You already know your brother. So basically he's like, man, I knew they were on bullshit, man. How you gonna lie to me? I'm the one who used to do this bullshit with you. Now you doing it to me. I know my brother. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, whether it was or was not, you know what it was because you know the person. I know them too. I've known them many years. I know what they've done. I know how they throw stones and hide their hand. I know how they do things and then be like, nah, it wasn't me. So I would bring them evidence. Hey, what happened in this town? They exchanged gunfire. They killed one of my boys. And he died. And they'd be like, they're gunmen. They run around high. They hammer men. They just hit men. They walk around high and shit. The kids in the United States give these dudes too much props. They're just, you know what I'm saying? When they say, he's just gunmen, they just walk around drunk. That's basically what they are. Bunch of hammer men rolling around drunk. Those are the paper plates that we be talking about, the disposable soldiers. You say, they're just gunmen. Don't worry about it. Well, please, just tell them, to fix things. Get shit right. A month later, I'd be like, hey, man, what's up, man? Another one dead. Another confrontation. It was because of an old lady or this or that. Come on, you telling us business of the gunmen. We not worried. Gunmen do what they do. They fight each other. And him telling them, please, get involved. Calm your men down. Chill their ass out. He's like, man, bro, your people keep attacking. Tell your people to sit their ass down. I can see this. You can't see this? You grow up with the Chapitos. Y'all been arguing about chicks and chicas and champagne your whole life. You play cousins. All of a sudden, you got a what's it called? You got your plaza now, and they just want to go over there and stir up some shit. I grew up around shit stirrers all the time. Motherfuckers that just wanted to piss you off to see you mad. These guys would do that kind of shit on a level that took life. Yeah, calm your people down, man. Get them in check. You say, they're just happy and excited, running around looking for trouble. And one time, in Villa Juarez, they ambushed some of my boys. But it turns out they shot at them. Thank God for my guys. I don't think any of them died that day. I don't really know. I mean, what do I keep calling them? Disposable soldiers, right? Paper plates. He don't even know if one of them died that day or not. They had a pickup truck that they used in the, the kind that they used in the Culiacanazo, from those double-wheeled armored vehicles. And they brought a rifle embedded. They started shooting, and then it turns out one of my boys smokes one of their boys, the dude that had the rifle up top on the pickup. And we took the truck. I don't know why, but the driver was in the armored car and got out. He jumped out and ran, and we kept the truck. And I went to go complain to Ivan. I was like, man, bro, what's up with your boys? Oh, it wasn't us. I said, nah, it was your boys that did this. All right, it wasn't your men? Cool. Bring me the truck. And he said, see, this is the truck, bro. This is your people's truck. Caught you in a lie. Use a damn lie. I got your truck. You keep telling me it's not you that's shooting at us. Well, we just blew up a couple of your boys and we got your truck. So how did we get this truck? Obviously, I left them speechless. I discovered his lie. There it is. I said, there's your truck. I don't think anybody got a double armored wheeled vehicle with a rifle up top, strapped to it. And I told him, you out of pocket. You wrong. Then the lawyers, because this happened in 2016, the lawyers tells us that the prosecutor's office of the United States sent us a message to tell us, why don't we surrender? My dad and I. But why? Yeah, they want to see if we want to collaborate with them. And he said, but why? That the Chapitos are telling us that they want to turn themselves in, but not you guys. That you guys are the ones that don't want it. He said, I do know. That's irrelevant because I do want to, I told him. It's crazy how many of these cartel wars start over petty stuff and childish drama. Bullshit. Little kid shit. While everybody else is like, they getting that money. They super gangsters. Everybody's emotional. Everybody's little heart is hurt. And the only difference between them and any other incel in the street who's emotional and got his heart hurt, they don't have the power that these fools were granted at birth. It's sad, bro. It's sad. So many people got to suffer over the same emotions that any sucker on the street got. Except that sucker don't got that power. He said, I want to, but they told me no. They're saying that they don't want to go to jail. Hold on. He said, we got people close to the lawyers that tell us things. And they say, you know what? The Chapitos don't want to take a day in jail. And they want to put you there. That they don't want to see a day in jail, but they want to put you there. That sound friendly, right? I filmed an episode of Trader, and during Trader, they were like, everybody was talking about, oh, friends this, friends that. These guys don't know how to be friends. They don't even know how to be family. They only know how to do each other dirty. It's all they know how to do, bro. It's not rocket science. The first impression of my father was, the United States government wants to oppose us, wants to, divide and conquer. It's not going to happen. It's a lie. It's just the U.S. doing this. They want us to start talking about them, talking bad about them, so that we come out bad. There's nothing to do in this case. Then they tried killing my main bodyguard. Friends, how many of us have them? Friends. Listen, it can't all be one-sided, can it? Sometimes it can. Sometimes the other guy's just an asshole. So now they tried killing my main bodyguard. After Pantera, I had another guy left, Montana. And the Chapitos gunmen who were watching Montana, because let me tell you, at that time, the time before, everybody was together. They told him, hey, man, get serious. They want you dead. They're looking for you to ambush you. So they'll be waiting for you in this place. They have you located in such and such truck. You pass by every so often, and they're going to smoke you. And Montana says to me, hey, man, listen here. Why don't you holler at your primo hermanos? Your primo hermanos is trying to take me out, bro. What's going on? And I said, you sure? That's what they're telling me. Oh, so he was talking on some, let me present myself. They want me, let me put myself out there and let them come and get some. Let me prepare something for me. They want to come look for me, let me prepare something. Told him, nah, you're wrong. I said, imagine if they kill you. He said, nah, he set up everything and he sent people with that armored truck. He reinforced the truck, he put more plates on it. He gave the boys helmets and vests and left people nearby so that it would go, for the confrontation. All was said and done when the truck passes by. According to the people at Chapitos, the Chapitos were going to ambush Montana and the shootout begins, but these boys were already prepared. Montana wasn't fucking around, huh? Montana wasn't with the bullshit. He was like, listen here, boss. These motherfuckers want to come get me. They want to smoke me in this truck. Cool. I'm going to take this truck. I'm going to double plate this truck. And we're going to handle our business. We're going to let them take their shot. And then we're going to serve their ass up to themselves. Crazy. So these guys were already prepared. He said, I don't know. I don't remember truly what came out of it, if there were deaths. But they all ran away. And then I said, nah, it's absolutely for sure that they want to take out Montana. They want to take out my main escort, my main bodyguard. This is bad. And I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I don't know if it was before or later. It was one of my son's birthdays. And we organized a party, and the Marines landed on us. They almost captured my dad and me. And from there, we guessed that, oh, you know what? The Chapitos were the ones who sent the Marines. Friends, gangsters, no snitching. But I send the police to catch your ass at your kid's birthday. I send my police, don't worry. With some of my guys dressed as police. And maybe some of the police dressed as my guys. No worries, man. That's all in the cartel bag. He said, that's when I realized, hey, man, this is out of pocket. What's going on with these guys? They want to kill us. They want to lock us up. They attack our people. My people was already ready to handle their business. But my dad always said, no, no, no. And let me ask a question. Does anybody know this? This is just a question. I'm going to throw it out there. For y'all know a lot about the lore and the legacy and the legend of these cartels that I do, right? Before Damaso Sr., el licenciado, helped Chapo escape Altiplano prison, was their family plugged, connected in the rackets and cartel life? Or was that what got him in the game? Because if that's what, because remember, he was an officer of the prison in some capacity. So I always looked at them as like the new money in that family. The ones that, you know, first and second generation in the game. And the reason I say that is because I believe, you know, they didn't get it out the mud together. Chapo was an older man when him and Licenciado got together. And I don't mean older, I mean, what year did he escape? That was 01, right? So here we are, 2026. So they were basically new to the game, huh? Shout out Eddie Jimenez. That escape got him hooked up. That's what got him in the game. So they was new money. Because I just like to think of, you know, when you think of the guys that are in the game and you think that they're 20, 30, 40 years in the game, these guys by that time, we're talking 2008, let's say 2000, let's just give it all the way to 2013. Let's give it to 2016. You know, that's a 16 years you in the game. You're in a very high position, very powerful position, but you're not the guy that's supposed to be making waves. Neither is your son. Why? Because as much as you think y'all are equals, y'all ain't equals. Y'all just got here. No? Am I wrong? Am I barking up the wrong tree here? Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. Yeah, they always been plugged in, but never on a major level, as Damaso being Chapo's right-hand man. So he said they told his father they wanted to kick up dust. They wanted to break some shit. Father said, no, 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 no. Relax. Tranquilízate. Meanwhile, if you let him tell it, he was yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Mini Lic talks a good game like they from the old school. Caro Quintero, but they new school. Well, yeah, and it felt that way. And I don't doubt that the other juniors were like that too. But they're in a different position. There's just a reality in things, right? The reality is you the new kid on the block, man. You don't tell me shit. The father be like, nah, relax, calm down, we don't want to fight. It wasn't something that was declared out loud, but it was something under the table. The nature of the beast. That's one of those should have seen it coming moments, no? Were these guys mad? Why were these guys mad? Were they mad because Chapo left the game to your father? Left him in charge? He said, look, I'll tell you why, because I know. Because just as you have sources, I have sources. When El Chapo sends a letter saying that the profits should be divided, 50%, 50 cents for El Licenciado, which is Damaso, which is Mini Lic's father. He said when Chapo sent the letter that the profits were to be divided 50% for Licenciado and 50% for his kids, Ivan got upset. Imagine. And I don't tell you because I assume. I tell you because I know. Ivan told his compadre Panu. He told his secretary, whoever's name, Fernando or whatever. I'll tell you his name later. I don't remember right now. He said, how is it going to be that that Licenciado gets 50%? How is it possible that Licenciado is going to get 50%? And I know him and Mini Lic are going to split it 25 and 25 between the father and the son. And me, I got to break up 12.5% off of what I get, because the other 3/4 are my brothers. Wow, boy. They get down to decimal points, and it's fuck y'all. Because across the 4 brothers, that's what it would end up with, 20.5. I mean, 12.5. How can Mini Lic possibly get 25% while I'm getting 12.5? And I'm telling you, he told his secretary that. And to Panu. And to Jose Angel and his brothers. He was annoyed by the idea of how it was going to be possible. And he went crazy. He starts to create his plan of how to get us out of the way. So that's the annoying thing about how we're going to get 25% and him being the son who's the heir, and he ain't going to get shit. But that's what I'm saying. That's in the letter. I still have that letter. Show us the letter. And Ivan knows it and the other children know it. The lawyer, as I said, is going to Chapo, and Chapo says to him, tell my buddy, he's in charge. That's it. In fact, when they capture Chapo, during the interrogation, they ask him, who's going to stay? And he said, my friend. I think my friend, El Licenciado. You know what they mean by who's going to stay, right? When they're interrogating him, they're asking him who's going to stay. What are they saying? Who you not going to snitch on? Miss me with the bullshit. Hey, who's going to stay, Chapo? Second biggest name or biggest figure in the game ever? Who's going to stay? Who you not going to tell on? Who you going to leave in charge after you sacrifice the others? He said, Damaso's going to stay. And all of Culiacan was saying it. He said, and don't get it wrong, you know, I know that they're the children, the sons, and they deserve what they deserve. But ultimately, in that moment, and I don't mean right now, because times have changed, people didn't look at them well. We're going to get to that right now because of everything that's happening. Now they look at them worse because times have changed. Nobody wanted to show their face to them. Nobody wanted to meet with them because of how they are. He said, the facts don't let me lie. Look at the extortions. Look at the collection of land. Things that have never been are being seen in Sinaloa. And people are not happy with that. But he's going to have his own narrative. As he's going to say he's the boss and that everyone loves him. He's the darling. He'll have his group of followers. Good. But there's also a very large group that's going to be haters and who are going to hate on him. Only he knows his reasons. I'm going to tell you what moves them. Money is what moves them. Yes, power, but more than money. I don't believe that. Upper Echelon said, I agree with that statement. The real ones didn't like them. The real people, the people that made the world go round, that they were to do business with, right? Once you build that kind of reputation and people feel skittish about being around you because you might flip the fuck out on them for no reason because of a song or some shit, then, you know, not just money, your money. But it's always been power, and more than that, it's clout. So just to walk around and feel how they look in the mirror, that's crazy. He said they're only thinking about money. How do I get more? And shout out to the point that Upper Echelon made. Not just money, your money. I want your shit. That's power. It ain't about the money at that point. If the money was a crop of whatever, worth so much, it's going to be that. But I'm going to use this power to get you with it. And that's what hurt them. That Chapo said, 50% for Damaso, 50% for y'all. They weren't able to accept it. They held their meetings for people that would support them, and they started the war. It was completely premeditated war, planned, and it happened, and that's how things went. Then there's a crucial, important part where there's a meeting you have with several other leaders where you express your discontent, and you say, this can't go on like this. We have to do something. Because the little bumps are starting to pop out. Everything's out of order. Everything that we're talking about right now. In 2016, they tried to get me, they set me up with the government and tried to get me caught. I was almost caught. Me and my father. They want to kill my main escort. They're causing us harm by attacking our people. So I'm going and I make a decision. And I go and meet with other people from different organizations. Gulf people. People from anywhere else. From Mexico City. People from Guerrero. And we were enemies. But we came together for one reason. To go against the Chapitos. Doesn't that go to what I've been saying about this alliance between the 4 letters and the Chapitos? How much did they have to give up for that? And once you go to your enemy for that assistance and make that alliance, which everybody seems to assume or think that is going to end in a Mexican standoff, it seems that that shit didn't work for them. Seems like they tried that. Did you give up too much by doing that? Like, I don't know, man. It just seems like part of that chess game. Seems like a bad move, but what can you do? So we started talking about the possibility of removing them, getting them out the way. But in the end, I do what my father tells me. If it was up to me, the Chapitos wouldn't exist. But I listened to my father. And everybody wanted to attack the Chapitos. All the other factions. I told my dad, they're ready. Everybody wants to get some. My father said, no, we don't want war. No, we just got to have our backup just in case something happens, but we're not going to war. And he said, I disagreed. We didn't finalize anything, and that's what it was. That was how those meetings went. Where was that meeting? Was it in a restaurant, in a house? It was a series of meetings in restaurants, apartments in Mexico City. Were all those meetings somehow called by you? Were you already kind of fed up to say, hey, yeah, I was already fed up. He said, unfortunately, we were young men. With experience, we would have done a little bit better. But we were violent. We got worked up faster. My dad was calmer, more serene person. Counselor, he didn't allow it. I said, I'm ready now. If my father would have told me green light, something entirely different would have happened. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's all a good story at the end of the day. Okay, after that, the kidnapping of the Chapitos comes. Tell me a little bit of that story. Broadly speaking, the truth, I didn't plan it. Yes, I know the people who planned it. We know that Ivan is going to celebrate in Vallarta. I didn't know. They told me, we know. You can investigate us. I investigated, but honestly, I didn't find out anything. That's fact, Shy. You give the wrong ones power and it's over. You can't give a lame power. The only people that deserve power are the people that truly, genuinely, if there was a radar that could tell you that they didn't want the power, that's the person to give the power to. And then, watch him carefully. You can't give a lame power. Every lame I've ever seen get the slightest bit of power over something, anything weaker than him. There's people that exercise their power over animals and abuse animals and shit. Why? Because that's all they got. Some motherfuckers talk tough here, talk tough there. They don't have that power at home. You can't give a lame power. You give a lame power, it's abused. Period. I didn't find out anything. The next day, they send me a message and they tell me they're already here. The little birds are in the cage. I understood the message. I was having breakfast with a friend in a restaurant in Mexico City, and I received that message at approximately 8 a.m. I didn't know. I replied that we already have the boys. But how? Or they replied, we already have the boys. I said, but how? But they didn't tell me when they were on their way, or they didn't say, oh, we're on our way to get them, or nothing. They didn't tell me nothing. I didn't even know if they were going to Vallarta. The next day they tell me, oh, okay, that's it. And from there, a series of events, of negotiations. Why not release them? My dad told me, he spoke to me. He said, Mayo is very worried and asking if I can help. If I have a good relationship with Mencho or any communication with somebody from Mencho's side to deliver a message, please release the boys. He said, and the truth is, I'm going to tell you what like it is. He said, even my father was defending the Chapitos. You think he didn't know really, Shy? I think it's so fuck you for them. Why wouldn't he just say it, no? Right? If he did, and it's fuck them, then at this point, you saying everything else. If you lying, when you lying about whatever else. But why wouldn't you just say that one? Yeah. Right? What's the consequence now of him saying that, Velez? So I don't know. I think he's telling the truth. He didn't know. I don't think he'd go against his father's orders. Maybe he knew a little bit more than he's letting on, but he probably didn't know all of it. Shout out Upper Echelon, right. Right there he does oversell. He said many times he never questioned his dad. And the fact he's saying Mayo is asking for a favor is ridiculous. Mayo really didn't ask. He asked, but it was a demand. Yeah, he already knew the art of gently making a demand. He said, my father was defending the Chapitos. Tell them if they have your friends to release them. I think the boys are going to settle down after this scare. If you can reach out to somebody to get them, then you get them. I said, Dad, don't you think at this point they're already grown-ups? Would you be saying that shit if it was you on the other end of that shit? Nah, you'd be waiting for your father to leverage his resources to get you freed. That's what you'd be looking for. He's like, if you have someone there, bro, tell them to release them. The truth is, I only passed on the message by order of my dad, a.k.a. I would have left them there to figure it out for themselves. I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. I only passed on the message because my father asked me to. But of course, if it was up to me, I would have preferred that the story would have taken a different turn. Coño. All I did was tell the person, hey, my dad says this, that, and the other thing. Let them loose. And he said, you know, for you to let them go. But me, I'm only telling you to comply. Because I don't want a time to come a day where you meet my dad and you ask if I told you or not. I keep my word. But I don't know. For myself, so he's basically saying he's the messenger. And after 4 days, they were released. How did that negotiation go? He just told you. Do you know like why they finished and released them? Finished releasing them? The truth is they're alive because of their father. He was the one who made the negotiation. Well, not a negotiation, an ultimatum. However you hand me my children is the same way I will hand you yours. Indeed, an ultimatum. Because Menchito was in prison at the time. And he sent the word to Mencho, the way you hand over my child is the way I'll hand you yours. And that's why he freed the Chapitos. Which makes me feel more like Menchito didn't say nothing only because they put it down. Oh, his mother. Hey, you're not going to testify against your mother at the end of the day. I think aside from that, he might have done it. Because they look like they take that shit seriously. He was willing to let them go after that ultimatum. There already had to be a negotiation on another level to release them. Because otherwise, would they have really let them go? And he said they were picked up to be killed. That was the MO. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about a scare. It was to kill them. So all these developments begin to occur in 2016. It's starting to feel more and more like things are intense. The fight with the Chapitos is very clear now. It's not so hidden.